Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Luna here. I am a real estate agent here in Philadelphia. So in today's video, I am going to explain to you guys why the reason that I stopped showing houses for good. And if you want to know why and what I'm doing right now to generate business, please keep on watching. So some of you guys have known and followed my journey since Prep Agents review video. I really appreciate the love and support. Yes, it is my second year selling real estate. I'm not the most experienced agent, but I have documented all my journeys on my YouTube channel. So if you guys go to the very first video up until now, you can see the progress that I have made and the mistakes that I've made and how much I have grown. So a couple months ago, I started to make the decision that I am going to make myself to become a listing agent, and I'm going to solely focus on getting listings and not ever show houses again. Well, there are exceptions if family or friends who wants to buy, or there's my past clients family are looking to buy multi-unit or something. I'm still going to do them a favor to show them the houses. However, the trust has already been there, so I don't really have to get new buyers to build that trust and then show houses. And the reason that I've decided to become a listing agent is very simple. First is I want leverage and I want to be successful in this business, and in order for me to be successful, I have to get listings. And the second reason is it's just so much more efficient being a listing agent versus a buyer agent. And but there are some obstacles and struggles for new agent try to be listing agent to start out. Is definitely it requires more skill set. So I'm going to tell you guys a few stories why I wanted to become a listing agent versus showing houses. And the first two stories is the past client that I've dealt with, and I wasn't successfully enough to make that a transaction. And at the end, I'm going to give you guys how I was able to sign 3 listing agreements last week. All right, well, let's get into it. So the first client that I want to talk about is it was a referral from my broker. I was showing them houses for over a year, and there's nothing wrong with the client. I personally love the family. It's just that they're very indecisive and they don't know what they're looking for. And a few times we have put in an offer, but I told them it's a multiple offer situation. They need to come up the price, otherwise they're not going to put anything on the contract. But I guess it was they're not financially capable of coming up the price, so we end up not getting the houses. However, for me as an agent, it was just very inefficient for me to focus on buyers, because a lot of buyers are like that. So what happens is a lot of time they will see a house come up the market and they want to see it right away. So I would drop everything I'm doing at the time, including the time to prospect and get more seller leads. I would go out of my way to show them just one house, not even a few, but just one. And I have done that multiple times, and it was just not very smart on myself, and it's not very efficient for me as time management. So the second buyer that I'm going to tell you guys is I came across these couple that they weren't very loyal, and they end up purchasing the house with somebody else. So working with buyers, with all the social media and advertising, it's very easy for them to find an agent that they can work with. If you don't have the trust to build with them, it's really hard for you to close the deal, because most likely they will go with other agents. They feel awkward, they're not going to come back to you, so you lose the deal, and all the work that you have done beforehand is just completely waste of time. And now let's get into the story that how I was able to sign 3 listing agreements last week, and currently 2 of them is under contract. So what I did was I spent tons of hours on the phone, and I average making over 1,000 phone calls a day with cold call. And on top of that, I still keep update with all the new expires or the new for sale by owners, and those are my lead sources. And the past 1 week, I've had my first seller lead reach out to me because he saw me as an agent and he contacted me. We scheduled a listing appointment 2 weeks out, and I was able to meet him and at the property, and I brought him back to my office and then we signed the listing agreement. That was the first seller lead. And the second seller lead was a 2-month follow-up. Well, it was a cold call that I made about 2 months ago, and I sent them up a follow-up letter right after. He received my magnet business card. So he had called me after 2 months, left a voice message. I didn't pick up because my voicemail was full, and then he ended up sending me an email. So I read that email 4 hours after when I get back to the office, and I called him immediately. We set up a listing appointment 2 days after. So when I went to meet him, it was quite interesting. It was very easy for me to convert that into signing the paperwork because he has already talked to me. He already saw my follow-up letter. And when I went there, I went through my whole listing presentation. When I was going for the signature, everything was very smooth. And he was telling me, he said, Luna, the whole reason I want you to come over here is because I know you are a local agent and I want you to represent me as a listing agent. So because the trust was already built there and there's no objection during the listing presentation, so for signing the signature on the paperwork was very easy. And the day after, on Friday, I had received a phone call from a homeowner who had just received my postcard. And then he said he was listed with an agent, but he was not happy with what that agent did. And he wants me to go over and take a look at the property, and maybe he will sign the listing agreement with me instead of the previous agent. So I went over there, and with the expired, for me, the impression that I have is usually they are overpriced, they have high expectation, and the goal for this meeting for me is to find out whether if he really wants to sell his house and if he's going to allow me to do my job. So at the presentation, the homeowner was telling me the story and he wanted to do things his way, and I kind of stopped him politely and I said, I understand your situation and please allow me to do my job. I would like to ask you a few questions before we start out the listing presentation. He wants to do the home tour with me to begin with, and I told him, no, it's okay. Let's get those questions out of the way, then we can do the grand tour of your property. So everything was, I took control of the whole conversation, and when it comes to for the pricing, he has a price in mind, but then I dragged down his expectation of how much he should list the property, because it really doesn't matter what seller thinks, it doesn't matter what the agent thinks. The only thing matters is what the buyer will pay for your property. And then as an agent, for me, is to obviously find you the one buyer on planet Earth will pay the highest for your property. So he was agree with what I was saying during the listing presentation. When I went for the signature, it was very smooth as well. And I took the listing at a really good price. It was below market value, and after 2 days on the market, we had multiple offers, and I was able to put it on the contract with $5,000 over asking price and as is condition. So why am I telling you guys this story? Is as a listing agent, once you have your skill set, it's really easy to convert those sellers into an actual sale, because compared to the buyers, like if you work with buyers, there's very little skill required, and the buyer has the say of whether they want to buy this house or not. But as seller, you have a larger pool. If you have all the leads, you know how to qualify sellers, you know what question to ask and how to actually help them. It just becomes a lot more efficient and easier for you to convert that into actual sales. So here is the video of why I made the decision to stop selling houses, and I hope you guys really like this video. Please give a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. This is Luna over here. I will talk to you guys in the next one.